to me. Paint my life into a masterpiece.
Guys, carrots from my farm. Carrots from my farm. So, I'm gonna be munching this. And I'm not going to peel. I will not be peeling it, guys, because we said we're growing crops organically or organic. So just pulled from the farm. But we're going to learn to plant carrots better. We need to do a raised bed so that the carrots can get bigger. That's what I've just learned, you know, from my top 50. So next time I'll make a much bigger bed with much soil, with a big mold of soil, so that I can have a better harvest. Okay, let's now go get some courgettes. All organic, guys. But first, let's munch. Oh, it's sweet. It's so sweet, like sugary. This is very good for salad. Oh, let's get some. I'm gonna get a little bit of spinach, baby spinach. Oh, some people like to call these, is another name that they call them. Can't remember. The name is coming and going. Bear with me. Collards, something. Collards green. I don't know. I know some of you keeps telling me to stop bending too much because of my back, and I know you guys, I actually have back issues, and thank you so much for your concerns. But I do forget most of the time, because when I'm busy, I got used to like bending, you know. That's why. So we're just gonna get some. Imagine, guys, when you have to eat from your own farm. It's so sweet. It's so it's, I don't know, out of this world. Because I know that I've just planted this just with goat manure. I have not put anything on these crops, nothing apart from goat manure and water. Nothing besides that. The wind is blowing my food. And then let's get some organic courgettes, guys. I've been working so hard. See that? Oh. Look at that. Oh, nabumta ko to dyan. Oh, guys. I've got two. I just got another one the other day, so I have three now. I have one in the house. All fresh, guys. Freshly harvested. Let's go get the spring onions. Show them my bed. So, guys, we just finished mulching. Is it called mulching or mulching? You know, because we've been shaving off the long grass from the fence because we saw two snakes. Can you imagine 2 snakes in my compound? So what we're doing, we got the grass and we mulched on these vegetable beds. So look at that. Show them all the way there. Oh my God. All these beds mulched. Even my hat is mulching. Lemongrass. Yeah. guys. Look at that. Oh my. Let's get tomatoes and add them over there. Wow, the tomato. Il a beaucoup de nourriture. Tout organique. Tout organique. Pas de chemical. D'accord? On va manger bien. We're going to eat well. Right? Guys, by the way, have you noticed that all these, I've just got them from a very small place, from a very small area. So that means with a small piece of land, or even, okay, let me say this, with a little backyard, a little yard, even a veranda, a balcony, you can make your food. You know, when I was in London, when I was praying to God to give me land, I used to plant on tea. In this day and age where they're using chemicals, and chemicals is becoming a hazard to our bodies, you can plant, you can grow your own vegetables. Little foods, you know, just little foods like vegetables. Maybe you can't plant like beans and maize, but vegetables you can. And then, you know, you can be able to source out everything else. But vegetables, do plant your own vegetables, because those are the things that you consume directly. And sometimes if they're loaded with chemicals, what are you doing to your bodies, guys? You know, it's not good. I have been listening to the news over here in Kenya, and some farmers are really getting sick. There's an area where, you know, where people are just dying of cancer, just because they've been using chemicals to spray their crops, fertilizers, and now their lands cannot yield because they're so used to using those things. I'm so grateful because my land is virgin, so I made a conscious decision. I was very intentional that I'm not going to be using any chemicals, no fertilizers. If I have to use fertilizers, it has to be with ingredients that I know. For example, I have a box full of eggshells that I've been drying. So those eggshells, I'm going to grind them, and they're going to be a source of calcium, you know. And then I can plant beans around for nitrogen. I'm going to just be, you know, like studying ways to do my things organically, chemical free. You know, there is organic, and there is organic chemicals, and there is chemically free. That means nothing goes to my food that is a hazard. Organic things are never so pretty. Those juicy, nice green vegetables that you get out there in the market, loaded with chemicals. My dear friends, let's get back to self-sustainable kind of farming so that we know what we're eating, what we're putting in our bodies, because these bodies are the temples of Yah. My basket full of goodness, just from my little yard. Here you go, guys. I did not have to remove it from acres of land. I have some carrots, some cherry tomatoes, some baby spinach, baby sukuma wiki, kale, some spring onions, some courgette, carrots. Yeah, and this is where I put the spring onions over here. Just a small portion for my kitchen. So guys, as I was saying out there, but the wind was a bit strong because where we are, we don't have any windbreakers, we don't have any trees. So it's a bit cumbersome when I'm trying to speak, or over the video while I'm videoing. Okay, so that's why I like to do the voiceover. Yeah, so you can see my basket full of goodness, guys, just from a very small portion of land. That's why I was telling you that you can grow your own food, that you've grown yourself, that is chemical free, and you don't need a big farm. Okay, I do have a big farm, but I have just got a little portion for my kitchen garden. And actually, what you can see in that basket over there is just coming from a very, very, very small, or rather tiny, place. Basically, you can even, put containers on your balcony if you're living in an apartment, and you can harvest such kind of food. And it saves you going to buy food, and also you're sure to eat healthy. Building a home can be one of the most exciting and yet very daunting experience. And it becomes more challenging if you are returning, or rather a returnee from living outside Kenya, or they refer to as a diaspora, someone who has been living in a different country. Now you're coming to your country and you have no idea where to begin, who to bring along. And if you are like me, I had my own design. I had my own, perspective, and getting the person who was going to meet that, it was such a a challenge, and I fell into a trap, guys.
I'm dreaming in dreams bigger than me, taking my time, giving to me, paint my life into a masterpiece, coloring it how I want it to be. Won't stop till I see what I want to see.
So you might be wondering why we have a trench running along the house. Okay, so this trench was dug to prevent the water seeping through the stonework, thereby, leading to the house getting weak, gradually. Yes, that's the reason why there is a trench there, guys. So we're still working, trying to work from the inside and outside as well. Yeah, but my top builder really wanted this dug. We have been experiencing heavy rains lately, and my builder did tell me that if we just leave the water to just float around the house, it was not a good idea. Yeah, so anyway, he was just showing me how they had dug the trench so that the water does not have to stand still and kind of seep through the stonework.
Difference like that.
So I came up with a technique where I decided to buy some little tanks to keep them in some designated areas of the farm. As you are all aware, my farm is 4 acres, guys, and I know that people who have bigger lands than than that. But as for me, I've never had such a huge farm to run and without any experience to farming. So I had to sit down and rethink my strategies on what to do when it came to farming. Now, this side where you can see me watering, I I am planting, or rather, I'm putting up an orchard. And so the pathways are the debris, from, left over, from the building. So I decided to make little pathways. This is to encourage people to walk through the pathways instead of walking across the farm where the fruits are. I think by doing so, we can prevent hardening the soil. And this is because we have black cotton soil, which if trampled upon, it can get really hard. And when it is rained and then we walk across the field or across the soil, it really gets hard. Okay, so to prevent that from happening, because I want to work with soft soil, I made pathways. And on the side of the pathways, I have planted sunflowers, and that's what I'm watering over there, and tall beans. I don't know what we call them, but they grow into huge stalks. So this is going to act as windbreakers for the fruits because currently the trees are taking longer. Now you can see we are living in kind of a very plain area now, surrounded by mountains and hills, and the trees are just shrubs. Okay, so we don't have trees actually, we have shrubs. So the wind is usually really strong, and that's why I have planted quick growing plants that grow quite tall, and they act as windbreakers, and also they kind of give shade, to the soil as well. Yeah, this is just picking ideas from people who have already done it, and getting to learn myself.